welcome to another fantastic episode of the Connecting Greeks podcast. I am Ari, and I am here with my two co-hosts. First co-host, Foti Stamos. How are you, Foti?
I'm well now that I'm the first co-host.
Hey, first doesn't mean much because the second co-host, the main co-host, the big, I don't even want to say co-host, I want to say host, is Angelo Tsarouches. Hello, Angelo. It's been a while.
I want to say, first of all, Hronia Pola, Happy New Year.
Hronia Pola to you.
To you guys and your family. I'm very excited about today's podcast because the two gentlemen we have on today, I've been on their podcast, a very popular podcast in Sydney, Australia.
Are you some kind of trader?
What's that?
Are you a trader?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. On other people's Greek podcasts? What is this?
Well, I'm not a trader. They invited me on. And I saw so many similarities, and I've been talking to these guys. Welcome to Connecting Greeks, Tom Skolaridis and Nick Athanasio.
Thank
from Sydney, Australia. Guys, welcome.
Hello, gentlemen.
So I want to say, first of all, to all you guys, Ari, Foti, Tom, and Nick, Hronia Pola, to you and your families, Kalia Pitihia, for your families,
mate.
And all the listeners that listen to Ouzo Talk and Connecting Greeks, we wish you all the best because this is our first one for the year. And it's interesting because Ari, you're in Washington.
I am.
You're in Boston. I'm in Los Angeles, so it's 7:00 in Boston, and in Washington, it's 4:00 in the afternoon Sunday in Los Angeles, and it's about 10 a.m. ish.
11
tomorrow morning. 11 in Sydney, Australia.
We're from the future.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me some lottery numbers or something.
So welcome, guys. You go like this. And the thing is, this is why we've been talking. I was talking to the guys, and what I said is that we always interview and uplift Greek talent, Greek stories, Greek everything. But nobody ever we never get a chance to maybe banter with our brothers in arms here. And then I think our podcast is fantastic. I think their podcast is fantastic. It's such parallel universe that
Thank
we're
you.
on the other ends of the world, and we do this thing, right, guys? And I'm happy we were able to make it work because we're three different time zones and two different countries. And I wanted to ask you guys, what's that?
I just jump in very quickly. I just want to say, guys, we've interviewed a lot of people, celebrities, business people, sing the whole 9 yards. I don't think I've ever seen Angelo as excited as he was when he told us that we're interviewing you guys.
Yeah, because
so kudos to you for that.
We're like family. It's like a brother.
Well,
this is the Marvel DC crossover nobody asked for.
Well, right, you see, it's Marvel DC here now. and I want to quash the myth first of all, okay? Because in our entertainment business, and I put podcasting in that right in the realm, sometimes people try to pit things. You know what I'm saying? They try that podcast is better, this one's better. I think they're all good. Everybody's got a different voice. And sometimes, and not just Greeks, I mean everyone, that comedian, that singer, that actor, that businessman, you go to a Greek wedding, they give you a rundown of who's worth what at every table. Especially if you're single, if you're a hot Greek girl, they're going to let you know that guy's a doctor. That guy's got 150 million. I know that guy's ugly, but his family owns half of Sydney, shit like that.
But it depends where you're sitting. We're sitting close to the bathroom.
That's where we usually
Good point.
But guys, let me get to it here because the thing I want to ask you guys, and it's been in my mind because that's why I was thinking about this, is we're in 2026 now, and a lot of stuff started spurning from COVID. I think ours did. I think you guys were in the same situation. And there's a lot of great sites. Excuse me, are you Greek? Which is Thanasi in LA. Are you even Greek? Christina, who I think's in Melbourne. Greek Gateway in Toronto. There's a lot of sites. There's a lot of people that got on, and social media has been so vibrant. My question to all of you today is, to start off in 2026, is that I think what we do is vital and important for not just Greeks in the diaspora, but even Greeks in Greece. And I know that a lot of them have kind of lost their way a little bit in the sense of politics, economics, which happened in Australia. We see what's happening in Australia, what's happening in America, what's happening in Greece. There's shit happening all over the world. And the thing I wonder, and I think Tom and Nick have the same kind of values as Adi Forti and I have, is to promote Hellenism. And how important is it, guys? Because look, we're not making a lot of money doing this. Except for Forti. Somehow he's making
I'm
money.
just drinking my way through these podcasts.
He's drinking the way through the thing. And you that evil word lefta, money, which you kind of need it. But the thing is, when we bring people on, it's a joy to promote. And I've seen Tom and Nick do it. I've seen Adi Forti, me do it. And I think people realize more now how important it is to be personal with people. And the question I ask you guys, because look what's happening now on social media. AI has stepped in. They're making videos now in Greece. AI videos, I cannot tell if they're real or fucking AI. I can't. And people are sending me stuff going, they're taking some of your jokes, they put them in AI and stuff. But that's progress. It's going to happen. In your opinion, guys, how vital is it what we do? And going forward, what do you think the trends are? Or how do you feel that the impact of what we're doing? Because, there comes a point where you got to ask yourself, is it still relevant? And the guys had the heroes of 2004 Euro, Charisteas and
Karagunis
and the captain Zagorakis. They were on, and I had to answer a question. It was so much fun, We've had people on too. But going forward, guys, and this is why I wanted people to see us discuss these things. How vital is it now and important, do you think? I think it's more important now than ever that we highlight new talent, new ideas, scholars, educators, doctors. Cool. Tom and Nick, what do you guys think about where it's going?
I don't think there's any doubt that when it comes to us as Greeks, this is, these discussions that we're having anyway. They've always been happening. We've been talking about things like the symposium, from ancient Greece or whatever the case is. It's always been happening over a drink, right?
Right.
We've been doing it anyway. But what's happening, and what I think is happening anyway, is that the medium has changed, and the way that discussion happens has changed. So now all of a sudden, those discussions that we were having, or the discussions that I used to hear my aunt, my uncles and my dad have around, the kitchen table or the dining room table at a party, that I really wish I had recorded back then, because there were such great discussions, whether it was about history or politics or whatever the hell it was. Those discussions are now happening in a space that brings it, there's an audience for it now. It's the reason why Nick and I started doing what we're doing, and I'm assuming you guys as well. This is, again, the medium has changed. The audience is bigger, and people want the parea. When we started, to your point earlier, this was Ouzo Talk in particular was a COVID baby. So, this was an opportunity. People wanted parea during that point. And Nick and I were probably, we were allowed out, an hour or two a day at that point, during lockdown. We'd meet up and walk up and down Brighton Beach here, having those discussions, and, over a coffee or a juice or whatever it was. Again, those discussions are happening. And you think about things like, people talk about, the terminology pillow talk. What's the equivalent of pillow talk for Greeks? It's having a discussion over a drink, isn't it? That's what we kind of do.
Coffee, drink, whatever. Yeah,
exactly. So, but most people in Greece now would have it over tsiporo, but tsiporo talk doesn't quite have the same ring that
Ouzo talks better.
But yeah, to your point, I think the medium has certainly changed, but it's the opportunity now to get it out there and get people connected. Again, your podcast is called Connecting Greeks. Ouzo Talk. We're all doing the same sort of thing at the end of at the end of the day. We're just utilizing these platforms to have that discussion in a better way. And again, you're in, we've got people in LA, we've got people in Washington, we've got people in Sydney. This is, in what other universe would this happen? We're we are connected and combined by the fact that we've got this common Greek heritage,
Right.
but we're also connected by our love of the technology and the love of the medium.
Right. Right. And
Definitely.
isn't it cool that like we could just, I'm sure this happened with you guys and many of your guests. It happens with our guests all the time. Showing up on screen, saying hello, I'm Ari, you are so and so. And yet because they're Greek and you're Greek, you automatically kind of already know like so much about
Yep.
how they tick and what makes them tick and what, the whole nine yards. It's so familiar and so comfortable.
Yep.
And that's something that I try to explain to like my non-Greek social circle. That's like you just can't get it unless you're there, unless you are in that, unless you grew up like that, unless you lived it, unless you had your parents deal with what they dealt with and went to another country and started a life there. But if you haven't lived it, it's really difficult to understand. And it's always a problem for me to like explain it to non-Greeks. But like every time we have a guest on, like you guys are in Australia. I mean, half a world away. But I
Yeah.
guarantee you, if we go out for a drink one night, we're all going to be hanging out and talking and like
Well,
the same exact stuff that.
Ange summed this up perfectly when he sat right here a couple of years ago, and he said the same. I'm paraphrasing now, mind you, but it was basically the same sort of event that he was at. Like a barbecue in the park that was happening in Canada was happening in Sydney and was happening in Sparti and was happening everywhere. And the common thread is the Greekness and the that Hellenism. The accents change a little bit,
Definitely.
but the Greekness is there.
But Ange, when we saw you, I remember the first time we saw you, you literally walked down the corridor here, and I thought, I'm related, I'm connected already. You didn't even have to say anything.
Already.
There was something about you. We had the aura and we shook hands. Okay, he's like my cousin.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like,
We're
I've never
laughing
met
at the
you.
same shit.
We're laughing, saying the same for like years.
That's the thing. It's like it's amazing because in my regular professional life, I meet people from all over the place in all different walks of life, but I don't feel any connection because I don't know who they are. I don't know what they're about. But
Yeah.
and I'm not saying all Greeks are exactly the same, but I'm just saying like there is this familiarity, and it's almost like I don't. It's almost like electricity. Like you just know. Like I know. Like I could say something like this to you guys, and you're gonna laugh because Greek people laugh at this stuff. Like I just
We've
have that
probably
like vibe.
experienced it. We've lived it.
Right. It's a
Yeah.
vibe,
I
right?
think if
It's
I
a
could,
variation, right, Ari?
Yeah.
It's a very, and this is exactly what you guys are talking about that people don't understand. And I say to them, like I never labeled myself Greek comedian Angel Tsidoukas. The media did that. My friends love it. Like Russell Peters meets a Greek guy somewhere. He calls me, hey, he's Greek, talk to him. Like, what are we, monkeys? So I do the same when I see it in Indiano. I go, hey, this guy in the ship, you won't say hi to him. He goes, there's 1.5 billion Indiani.
Yeah.
There's about 20 million Greeks in the world. I go, we're closer to it. But even Russell, a lot of my friends, there's an envy to it because they go, it's something about Greeks. And I use the 1 degree of separation theory. And I saw it with Tom and Nick. I see it with you and Forty. And it's funny because people say to me, they go, it's interesting. And I'll use the words like philotimo or, there's so many Greek words that we have that no other language or culture really has.
Right.
Philoxenia,
Yes.
philotimo. I mean, these are words that really mean a lot to Greeks. I think what's happening, and people in Greece who watch us, you got to understand that they live there. So they're going to have a different view of it. It's like, living in Sydney, you see the Sydney Opera House. When tourists come to Sydney, they go there first. For you guys, you drive by, you don't think about it. Ari's in Washington. You're going to drive by the Washington Monument, you don't think about it. Forty's in Boston. You go to Boston Harbor with the tea park. It's things you don't think about. But for us, when you talk to Greeks, what happens when you meet Greeks in the world? Where are you from? Where are your parents from? How much money
What
do you
country
make?
are you from?
Yeah.
Much money
Are
to
you
make.
single? Give me your income tax returns. Pull up on my meta. And I always notice, even when I'm on the road, as an entertainer who travels, it's amazing what you just said, Adi. I'm in Perth, Australia, and there's a bunch of Greek kids hanging around after the show. And where are you going to go? Well, no, I was going to go. I want to go have a cigar. Oh, there's a cafe called Baklava in Perth. Pame. I didn't even, I would never do that necessarily in Chicago or Toronto, Montreal. I'm from there, but others say to me, I don't know. A Greek guy's go, Pame. My cousin has a cafe. He has a bar. He has this. Pame. And then you're there till like 5 o'clock in the morning, just shooting the shit.
Yeah. And you were just saying about the Filotimo and the cigar thing. Like when we took you out to the city, me and Tom were actually embarrassed because there was nothing happening in the city. You know, remember you said like it's 11 p.m. and the city was dead and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
We're actually embarrassed. I go, fuck, how embarrassing. He's come to our town and we couldn't even go to a nice bar and have a cigar. So when you left, we thought, fuck, next time he comes, let's fucking go here. Let's ring up these. And that was more of a Filotimo thing. Other people wouldn't give a shit. Like, fuck him, he's gone now, whatever. But we took it personal. I go, he came to our town and we tried to show him a night out. And we're a little bit embarrassed. And that's a Greek thing, I think. You know, because we want to give so much. I don't know if any other cultures felt like that. Yeah.
But hanging out with you guys, Nick, was enough. Like I think Tom said earlier, it's the parea.
Yeah.
And in this sofane parea, man. If we're going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You get people. I go to Canada, my friends go, pa mi café, pa mi puro, pa mi poto. You don't necessarily need to go to a nightclub or anything.
Yeah.
If you got parea, you know, it's like, it's amazing. Even 2 or 3 Greeks together. I'm on a ship. The captain's Greek, and the production manager's Greek. Comes over and says, Tsaruka, pame metade, pame na puro, pium na café. It's the captain of the fucking ship. And the production guy goes, hey, mi mexicasete. Yeah. You're there. The ship is quiet. It's 3:30 in the morning, and we're talking.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I think that's the camaraderie that we have.
100%.
And I think Ouzo Talk and Connecting Greeks, we bring that.
Correct.
And more importantly, we bring it to communities that wouldn't experience this. Like I remember me and Tom were talking about the other day, there was a little town in Pakistan. We could see our numbers tick over. Go, what? There's someone listening to our podcast in Pakistan. We looked at the town. I couldn't even tell you what the town was called. And we Googled. There was like a Greek mechanic in that town.
Yeah.
So this poor bloke was on his own in the middle of Pakistan. He probably met some girl. I don't know. I'm making this up. Probably met a girl there and opened up a workshop.
Lively imagination. He's got a whole backstory.
We were his butt out. So he was probably sitting in there listening to us, what we normally do at a kafenia, but he wouldn't have had that. That's the beauty about what we do.
Yeah.
Saying Connecting Greeks, we're bringing that parea to the remote parts of the world.
We're talking about Greeks and friendships and whatnot. Can we get, for people who don't know, how did you guys meet? How did you guys get into this? I know it's a COVID baby, but how did you guys, what is your, a brief little summary of your backstory? How did you
What's our origin story?
Yeah, the origin
story. Should I tell
story.
it? I'll tell the bit that I tell.
Yeah, you tell that part.
So I noticed Tom first. So we used to work together at Qantas Airways, head office, so airline in Australia. No joke, we're on the same floor. I literally walked out of the men's toilet and the first desk I saw was Tom's desk, and he didn't look Greek to me. I didn't know what he was. I saw this unique flag and he was new. I think he was new on the floor. I said, what flag's that? And he goes, that's the Corfu flag. I said, are you Greek? And that was it. I stayed at his desk for the next 3 hours. Talking.
Are we best friends now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we were instantly.
That's how it happened. And that was the first introduction of me and Tom. And then it just grew from there. And then we worked out he was down the road, and then COVID hit. But we sort of got the similar intellect where we like to discuss Greek culture, Greek philosophy. Yeah. After a few drinks. But that's how we sort of met.
Yeah,
that was the initial initiation.
So you guys met at work. You became fast friends, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then so COVID hits. You guys are kind of like going crazy, stir crazy, as we all were. And then like, what was how did the concept of a podcast come up?
Well, I'd been listening to podcasts for years. Like I was a bit of an early adopter when it came to the podcast. As I'm sure Ange would have been, and I mean. Ange, am I right in saying you were on Carolla's podcast as well?
Yeah, Adam Carolla. I'm a regular on his podcast too. Yeah.
So the fucking podfather, So between him and people like Kevin Smith and whatnot, I was always listening to those to those podcasts, and with a background in journalism, which I had, so I was writing in the media early on, and before jumping jumping ship to the other side and doing communications and PR. So that was the sort of background. And when COVID happened, Nick and I were both stood down from work at Qantas because we weren't flying anywhere. So there's not a great deal of work to happen. So yeah, like you said, we're going stir crazy in the house, and then for that brief period of time, I think it was at the end of 21 or mid 21, we were allowed a certain number of hours out of the house for exercise, and you could be in a group of no more than 2 or 3 or some bullshit like that. I can't remember what it was, but we're walking up and down Brighton,
and it was Mooch and Me. So it was a coffee shop down the road. They were giving free coffees. So it was a Greek establishment. I said, look, free coffee. We're not going to charge you. So we went there. We grabbed our free coffee. We walked up and down the beach, which is where I'm pointing at, just not too far from here. And then conversation, everything we spoke about just defaulted back to our culture, our history, our ancestors. And then Tom suggested we should do a podcast. I think, what? I go, what's a podcast?
Yeah, this is what it was. That's the funniest part of this. You can see the generational gap at that. What the fuck's a podcast?
There's it.
Well, let me tell you.
And then he explained, I go, you really think people are going to listen to this? Like, yes. And
I said, I don't know, but we'll find out. And we did. So I think it was, earlier, I can take you to exactly the spot where it happened as well. Just, down from Mooch and Me, where we were like, okay, we're going to do this, so it's kind of an important spot for me as far as I'm concerned. But we just said, okay, well, look, let's record 10. Let's start there and see what happens. Let's put it out and just see what the reaction is. Funnily enough, everything sort of started to happen. A few people sort of jumped on board in terms of like reporting on it. So we were lucky in that respect. And then I think really the first
comments, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, there were heaps of really good comments that we were getting. A lot of the sentiment was, thank you for giving us this sense of parea. We needed it during this period. I'm stuck inside, there was a guy who was I think he was an air traffic controller at Heathrow Airport in London. And he's emailing us going, oh, you're sort of getting me through this period. And there were a whole bunch of others emailing us.
The lady in LA, what's her name? She'd been there from day one.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember.
Dimitra.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah,
but that's how it started. We did the first episode was Meet the Boys, and we did one on the bouzouki. So, and again, I'm not a musician, but we're asking all the right questions. What wood's it made out of? We got into really depth conversations, and we could see through our numbers that people were listening. I go, hang on, fuck, people are actually listening to this, and it just grew organically from there.
But I think Ange unknowingly plays a really key role in this, because Ange, you were probably the first, let's say, name, that we got. So for us, it was a big deal, because it was like, okay, well, all of a sudden, this isn't just us buffheads sitting here talking to our mates or talking to people about, what they're passionate about. This is someone that people actually know, and that can add a little bit of gravitas to what we're doing, the sort of gravitas that we couldn't hope to have. So when you walked through the door here, well, when you agreed to come on, when you were coming to Sydney, it was like, all right, well, this is a thing now. This really, this is an opportunity. It was, and thankfully for us, as we spoke about, there was that immediate connection. We felt that. And the interesting thing is, no matter who we've gotten through the door, and we've had some really great guests, since starting, we've felt that connection, whether they're Greek or not, funnily enough. We've felt that connection with every single one of them. So whether they're Greeks or Philhellenes, which is basically the prerequisite for being part of this podcast,
right?
Irrespective of who they are, what level they are, whether it's an ambassador or a consul general, or it's an actor, a comedian, musician, whatever it is, we've all been, the great leveler is the fact that we're Greek or that we love Greece. That's
connection.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. And we don't just...
Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
Go for it. Oh, we're just saying we don't really delve into politics too much. We don't really we're trying to unite our community, because there's not many of us. It's always optimistic. It's always upbeat. And we try and learn something from it. So we're very inquisitive. So nearly everyone who listen to episodes and say, Nick, I actually learned something from you guys, or something from our ancestors. And a lot of the other things as well, we talk about our parents and stuff, all those stories get lost. So really it's all about storytelling. When we meet our guest, we ask them about their grandparents, their great grandparents, and something interesting comes out of it. We don't know what's going to come out of it. Could be like an immigration story, but all those stories that our grandparents used to tell us, unfortunately, if they're not recorded anywhere, they get lost. And that's another thing why we do it. So
Like Greek recipes.
100%.
Yeah.
Like Greek recipes. Oh yeah, I used to make these yummy stuff. How did she make it? Oh shit, we should have wrote it down.
Right.
Yeah.
And now when you look on social media, you got these really attractive Greek women and men who are cooking, and my wife's watching it, and they're getting huge followers on how they make Greek food. And my wife goes to
Absolutely.
watch the guy made yummy stuff. I made my guy made uvetsi. I got and it's interesting because what you guys are saying, and I'm hearing what you guys are saying. And the thing is that I think all of us, in a way we may not understand, is that, it's important because the way I look at it now, we're probably the generation that's the bridge from what was, from our parents. Now, my
point.
question, is because the newer generation, there's more mixed marriages.
Right.
There's more, and I always say this in my act. I say, if you marry a Greek, male or female, the Greek side dominates always.
True.
It's a fucking weird thing. And,
It's a strong
everybody's
gene.
nodding their head. I go, if you married a Greek, they're going to tell you, I'm not that Greek. And then you've never been to more Kives, Vaftisi, Ramos, freaking name day celebrations. And they're like, what the fuck is that? You guys are like, we don't realize how connected we are. And then my one friend says, you're right, man. I was never really that social. And I married my wife who's Greek. And she's Greek. And she goes, no, my kids, we're getting married in a Greek church. We're baptizing the kids Greek. We're going to eat Greek food. And the guy goes, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right.
Almost like a big fat Greek wedding, right? If you look at
Correct.
Nia wasn't off. She was right on the money on that one.
Yep. And she was just here.
And she was just in Australia, right?
400 meters down the road from here.
Literally.
Did you guys get her on the podcast?
Nah, she was with family.
back.
We did speak to her, but yeah, she's obviously she was with family, so a bit hard.
Now let me ask you guys this question now, and then and this is what's going on in the world because it's relative to what we do. Greece right now, it's in recovery still. They had the debt crisis, they had kriasi, that all kinds of stuff, and they're coming out. It's coming back. There's still issues about pensions. There's still issues about a lot of things. Questions of us Greece selling out. Asian people are buying Greece, or they're at Costa Navarino. They're building resorts. Greece is going through a transition. Greece now is almost like the Florida of Europe, where people are going there to vacation and retire. And the other fact that's going on is that Greece has right now a fact. It's got the lowest birth rate per capita in Europe, and sad to say, highest abortion rate per capita in Europe. So it's economics going on. So I've had people who reach out to me saying, we love to watch your comedy. We love to watch your podcast. We love to watch the Ouzo Talk podcast. It's almost like bringing it back. My question to you guys, do you think the generation after, meaning our kids or maybe their kids, will they keep that compassion and love that we have? I'm not saying they won't, but it sort of weans a bit. That's why I think what we're doing is so important. If kids see us doing this, does that give them the incentive to say, you know what? I like what Tom and Nick do. I like what Adi, 14 Ange do. We like Dora Paputsakis, who's in Vancouver, she's a sweetheart. She does a regional podcast, and I contribute with her too, with George and Nick. And then anytime somebody asks me to do one of these things, I do them. And because I feel passionate about it. But is our next generation going to have the same passion as we have? I don't know. What do you guys?
If I can jump in real quick and just
Sure.
make a quick point to what you're saying, Angela's. I think we're up against some pretty big challenges, to your point, because of what's happening in our societies. And Tom and Nick, you let us know what you're feeling out in your world in Australia. But we're seeing numbers declining in attendance of, say, church services, events, festivals, participation, volunteers, and so on. And I think it's because we're living a different life right now. You know, the world today is so different. Parents are not the same Greek American parents as our previous generations because kids are more involved with non-Greek activities. Where when I was growing up, it was American school, Greek school, Sunday school, you know, and anything that had to do with our relatives and visiting each other's houses and spending time. Now I think our children are more immersed in sports, school activities, plays, and so on and so on. So it leaves very little room for Greek related activities and events.
Well,
And
can I jump in on that?
yeah, yeah.
I feel like we had, and this is twofold. We had more of an urgency when we were growing up because I mean, I don't know exactly how old you guys are, but I was on the cusp of pre-internet into internet. And
Yeah, that's me.
pre-internet, we had to go out or else we would never see other Greeks. We would never hear Greek music. We had to go out to do these things. And and then once the internet hit, it's like, well, if you saw a Greek girl at a club, you had to like wait till the next Greek night to go to hopefully see that girl. Or if you heard like the hottest Greek song, you had to go and hopefully the DJ would play it again. And, you know, it was a different world. And now it's like more of an instant gratification of like, if you see somebody or you meet somebody or you want to hear something or you want to see a video, it's right there at your fingertips at home. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that, you know, our kids are becoming more assimilated into the culture and society that we're in. You know, Foti, Angelo, and myself here in the US, you guys you know, in Australia. And, you know, those two things compounded into each other makes it a real tough, like if my kids had, I mean, my kids are 3 and 6, so obviously they have no idea, but if they had any idea of the crap I used to do and like how we used to like have fun and go out and get drunk and do
Τι
this,
έχεις να
that,
πληρώσεις, mate.
exactly. Exactly. I always said, if I have a daughter, it's karma. And yes, I had a daughter, but you know, they'll never understand how much fun and cool it was to be in the Greek scene and to have all this stuff because they just it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys feel that that's how it is over
Look,
there?
look, I think this is probably the most complicated question. So, I mean, you could dedicate an entire podcast just to this question. But look, I don't think there's any doubt that the way that we let's say practice our Greekness or the way that we show it or appreciate it is changing and is going to change more as time goes on. And that distance from that original generation that came out, you know, gets further and further away. We're seeing it, you know, in many different ways. And to your point, things like, you know, activities like sports and whatnot, they are taking over. I mean, I've got similar kids that are similar age to you, Artie. And I mean, my eldest, he plays rugby league. He plays football, as in soccer, football. He plays, you know, there's all these other things that are happening outside of school. But the big thing that's changed from our sort of generation, let's say, if I can call it our generation, is that we've sort of made a conscious decision. Those who are, you know, who want to make sure that the culture stays alive will try and bring it in other ways. So, for example, I used to have to go to Saturday Greek school. I fucking hated it, right? Irrespective of how good I was at it, I hated the fact that I needed to go to school on Saturday. It's easier to just send your kid to a Greek school, you know, where it's folded into the curriculum and at least that is sort of taken care of. The other thing is that, you know, the biggest fear, I can't remember who said this on the podcast, who I'm borrowing from. It may have been you, Ange, but the biggest fear that our parents and grandparents had when they came out here or wherever they went is that their kids wouldn't be Greek.
Right.
So in many ways, what we copped after the fact was this force feeding of our Greek culture or this force feeding of our of the language or whatever it was, which in many ways, in some instances, was to its detriment because we sort of distanced ourselves from it in many respects.
Right. Yeah.
I can say that. Nick said it many times before. it wasn't really cool to be Greek, and it wasn't a thing that we wanted to be associated with. So there was this rediscovery that started happening at a certain age, and it usually comes when you're left to your own devices and you can actually start going back by yourself. That certainly happened for me.
True.
I ended up marrying a Greek, fresh off the boat, which I'd sworn I would never do, and then it happened.
Yeah.
So, from that, I think there's no doubt that these things are changing. The way that our kids are going to display their Greekness or practice it or appreciate it is absolutely going to change. Is it going to be for the worse or the better? I think it really depends on how we encourage it.
Yeah.
I think the one thing is for sure, the way that our parents and grandparents did it had a lot of downsides. I think it's happening a lot more naturally now. So I think there's hope for it still.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I might be a bit more optimistic, but I just think there's a massive resurgence. It's what's happening in our community. We've still got three or four Greek schools, like English schools, but
There's more.
There's more now, and the numbers are good. They're not decreasing. Our church, the one we go to now, is exploded, and younger kids are going. They've done a few good things. Our local church now. I think they've labelled it the biggest in the southern hemisphere. It's huge. The psalti there now are a lot better. They're like opera singers. We don't get the old psalti. Like, it's actually beautiful to listen to. We've had
Aidses of the Aidses.
You guys should get Angelo.
He should. Like, and Tom, how many Greek festivals do we have now? That's increased a lot.
It has.
People like the Greek Fest, Nick.
Yeah.
But Nick, okay, so I said, echoing what you guys are saying,
yeah,
I would never be that guy.
Yeah.
So my daughter is now 13. She goes, my wife goes, my wife's not Greek, she's Armenian, very similar to the culture. And she goes, well, she wants to take these, there's a dance school here in Studio City, Hollywood. She wants to go to it. It's not cheap. I said, okay, I tell you what I said. And I said I would never do this, and I did it. I said, okay, I'll pay for her to go to that school, but once a week, she has to go for Greek dance lessons at our.
That's awesome.
And you know what? You got to negotiate. And my wife and my daughter looked at me. She goes, you can do that school, the dance school, jazz, ballet, dance, this and that. All the Hollywood kids go there, but one day a week, I need you to go to Greek school. And I'm going to tell you what happened. They agreed.
Good.
They went, I only want her to learn how to Greek dance.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't she get there? Then they like her. Now they have, they put her on the St. Sophia dance team. They have a thing called FDF, Folk Dance Festival. The big festival in the Western United States, 75 churches, 8,000 people.
It's huge.
She's dancing Pondian. She's dancing this. Now my wife's in the church. Now my wife's working at the Greek festival. They got friends now. I was at church today. Hey, how's it going? They know everybody now. Now my wife has become more Greek than me. And she said to
100%.
me, you're crafty.
So,
She goes, I said, no. And I said I wouldn't be that guy. And I said, no, it's my
Bravo,
daughter.
Bravo, Angelo.
Look, it's
Right?
really
and I said,
cool.
my daughter, she's at Sarukas.
Yeah.
One day a week, you're going to take her to learn Greek dance lessons, and you got the rest.
That's
So you have to negotiate. And you know what?
Yeah.
Now they're going to Phoenix for dance.
Yeah.
Amazing.
They go to this Greek summer camp. My daughter is reading the Lord's Prayer once a month in the big cathedral, and I'm sitting there dumbfounded. I'll confess to you guys, I wasn't even that involved.
Yeah. True. I was like you, Ange.
I wasn't
Look
even.
what you did.
I'm sitting there going, Gasit Saruka, you want to get this down? And they love it. They got new friends, and my daughter, it fills my heart because now she's involved in it.
Right.
So it kind of happened organic. Yes, I did put a negotiation clause in that contract, but they liked it.
Yeah.
It's
come from the parents.
Yeah, it seems like we're all finding balance. We're trying to collectively within our families find the balance for our children, where some ultimatums might have to be in place, but to give them the opportunity to feel, as you had mentioned, Tom, earlier, I think at some point when we were younger, we didn't want to be Greek because there was just something about our friends around us who were starting in a very negative way. But as you get older,
We wanted to assimilate.
you grow out of that, right? And and my two daughters, they're in like 13 and 11, and I think they're at that point where they're not sure if Greek is cool right now. So like, got to give them some time to grow out of that mindset. But thankfully that my wife is a teacher and a Greek school teacher, she enforces it to give that balance until they
Yeah.
find their way when they get older.
Yeah.
And then she sees this podcast and they turn away completely.
What's
I'll
that?
drink to that.
Manipulation. But you see,
Yeah.
and
Definitely.
guys, I said I would never be that guy. Guess what?
No, good for
I
you,
am.
Angelo. I'm telling you this right now. I'm very happy to hear that, because that you did something that you were like, I shouldn't do that, or I would never do that, but you did it, and the end result is every Greek is happy to hear that.
And you know
Well,
what,
the whole
guys?
thing.
We go to the panigiri here in LA. All the kids get up dancing. I see my daughter getting up, knows all the dances, and she's happy. How many times did you go to these Greek festivals and you didn't know how to dance?
Right.
That's how you
Yeah.
learn how
And
to
they
dance.
go, boy, it looks
Is that
like fun.
before or after drinking?
Well, for you, Forte, I don't know. But you
Well,
see,
the
you don't
dance-
have to. You saw a cute girl, right? You say, shit, look at that hot Greek girl, but I don't know how to Greek dance.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, Malaka? Go learn how to
Yeah,
Greek dance.
that's
and
right.
Get in there
You
with
learn
her.
quick smart.
You know, all my young
the dancing is an interesting one because, so my son's been doing that as well, through school. And at a recent christening, and when we were in Greece in the last year and a half or so, he's 7 years old. He's about to turn 8. He was leading the choro at one stage, at this christening. I never did Greek dancing. I went to Greek school, but I drew the line at the dancing. It's not for me. So, but I've never been prouder than seeing him lead the choro
Right.
at a christening or at a panigiri. It was amazing. This little
So
shit.
if you have a young Greek son, everybody out there watching and listening, if you have a young Greek son and they don't want a Greek dance, just tell them girls love a guy who could dance.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a fact. It's
Oh,
true.
they do.
And if you could Greek dance, forget it, man. It's
I
true.
love it.
Yeah,
But it
definitely.
fills my heart with joy because
Yeah.
we went to a wedding in Canada and they're all dancing. My daughter just gets up and they're dancing all kinds of weird dances I would never know. And my cousin comes up and going, how does your daughter know how to dance Pondian?
It's all you.
I know, this and that. I go,
It's
"Did
all
ever
you,
do
man."
that?" I go,
Yeah,
Paso
just say
de
claim
Becky,
it.
this and that. She
Just
knows
take it.
Just claim it, Ange.
Right.
You know, but see, that's the thing. But I think it's those things, and people listening today will hear this,
Yeah.
and maybe they get something out of this today. What we're talking about, because
Definitely.
it's like, how do I say it? We need to continue this. I know it's hard. We all have lives. We're assimilating and everything, but we're not that many Greeks in the world. But for not having that many Greeks, we sure have a loud voice.
Definitely. You know what it is, Nange? We got Greece. Greece have modernized. We've got really cool Greek music now, Greek house music. They're getting into all that now. All the old 1960 stuff that our parents grew up with, yeah, that's still there. But the Greeks around here, they're listening to the latest, coolest music. Whatever's happening in Athens, we're getting it here now. There's a couple of Greek kids now, they're starting up Greek clubs, like one-off Greek clubs, and they're packed full of 18, 19-year-old Greek kids. Like I said, it's a massive resurgence here. The only thing that's dropping is the language. So people aren't talking Greek as much. And that's evident through some of the universities. They're pulling out lectures and teachers, all that sort of stuff, which we're sort of
Whole
as a
departments. They've so Macquarie University pulled their Greek program last year. We did. I don't know if you guys saw. We did a debate last year on the Greek language and whether it's essential to our Greek identity. Now, you couldn't get a more diverse response to that. I mean, collectively in this group here, we would all agree that the Greek language is important and that you should absolutely be learning it. But there is, and this is, to the more pessimistic point, about this discussion, there is a sort of swath of the community, a particularly younger generation who are going to university, who say, I can be equally as Greek and not know any of the language. I can go to clubs, I can go to Greece once a year, listen to Greek music, all that sort of thing, and still be Greek. The real question, and then it was a question that the consul general here asked. Well, it was his opinion that he wasn't sure about that, because the more that happens, the more it dilutes and the more it will eventually disappear.
Right.
It's a really important discussion for us to
It, it's
continue to
it's
have.
it's almost like these people are saying, I love the fun parts of Greek, but I don't want to commit to the whole thing. Where,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
opinion on my end is, I know a lot of Greeks who don't speak Greek. Um, and to me, as somebody who is a first generation Greek and grew up speaking Greek,
Mm.
and now in my household, I have a Greek wife, Greek mother-in-law. We're trying to get our kids to be as Greek as they could be. When you tell me you're Greek and you're proud to be Greek and you don't speak Greek,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but in my mind, I'm like, well, you're not fully committed to being Greek. Like, you have to learn the language,
Yeah,
like,
I think language is part of being Greek.
right?
Yeah.
It is,
And that
but
starts at home, man. Like, it's not,
it has to be at home.
you can't send your kid to Greek school to learn Greek. They're going to learn to read and write there.
Right.
I'll throw it out there right now. When the day that I was sent to Greek school for the first time, I didn't know it was coming. It came out of fucking nowhere, right? I'm sitting there watching Saturday Disney at home, and all of a sudden, I'm plucked away, taken up the road to the local church, and enrolled in Greek school. I was not happy about this, and the response from my mum was, "You'll thank me later." Now,
Right.
I'm usually not the type to admit to something like that, but yeah, I kind of thank her for that.
Good.
That's the truth.
Yeah, that's good.
But to your point, guys,
Yeah.
I was at FDF. My friend Lazo, we got to get him. He plays the Lira. He's from northern Greece.
Yeah, yeah,
He's Greek, Lazos.
Yeah.
So he came to FDF. He goes, Paraxino Prama. I go, what? He goes, there's about 3,000 or 4,000 kids dressed in traditional Greek garb, singing the Greek songs, dancing the Greek dances, they know the words to sing, they don't speak Greek.
Mhm.
And the guys from Greece were befuddled. They were like, in a Paraxinov, but like they're Greek. Imagine coming from Greece,
Yeah.
you see 4,000 or 5,000 kids in Nishotika and all these Kritika wearing the uniforms, dancing, singing the songs, so they've learned them. But then they go to talk to them in Greek, and we don't speak Greek.
right.
Mm.
And they were like, it's bizarre. It blew them away. They were like, so they're Greek, but they're not. I go, look, this is better than nothing.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
great.
for sure.
It's great that they want to be Greek, and I'm not saying you can't be Greek and not speak Greek, but I just feel like if you really want to fully immerse yourself in that culture, like learning the language is something
Yeah.
that is pretty important. That I believe.
Well,
And
Look, we
you know what
have.
else? I gave you guys a Greek pro tip about boys dancing because the girls love it. So I'm going to give them a second pro tip. My
Put
second
that on
pro
a
tip is
t-shirt.
how, what better way to talk about people behind their backs or in front of them by
Yes.
speaking another language? Learn
best.
Greek so you can talk about
Well
it.
done. That's
100%.
That's a mic drop. Harley.
Kotoboyo. If there's one reason to speak Greek, and we've all done it, I still do it.
Yeah.
It's like a secret code. No one knows.
I dated non-Greek girls, and it drove me crazy because I couldn't
Yeah.
talk to them in another language. I hated it.
Yeah.
It's so
Classic.
true, isn't it?
I got to say though, one of the things that I think we need to do better as a community, and I'm interested to hear your take on this, boys, over there. I mean, we all know that Chris Nolan, for example, is bringing out the Odyssey this year, right? Now, from the second that movie was announced, the questions about casting came up. We're going to have a Black Athena. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. So all of these things, right? I think it's really incumbent on us, no matter what we're doing, whether it's podcasting or you're in the arts, like as an actor or a writer or whatever it is, it's incumbent on us to be owning those stories. This is the inspiration that our kids and our community is going to draw from. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Hollywood is in power when it comes to that sort of thing because they're the ones telling the stories. We need to be telling our stories. Yeah. We need to own
we
them.
Do. What about
I'm sorry. Are you saying when you see Matt Damon, you don't think Greek?
They're from Boston. So
Yeah.
No, but
Maybe
good-
from the
good
northern
point,
part
Tom.
of Greece, but
Right.
Good point, because you know who started all that was really Disney,
yeah.
Mulan,
sure.
and all those things. So the whole idea is, if you're going to have a Greek thing, the Odyssey, but then you've seen it in Bridgerton, you've seen it in the British. There's a lot of them. It's inclusive now. That's just the way Hollywood or even the
The
world.
inclusiveness is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Fine.
But it's more about us
Accuracy.
telling our story.
Yeah. But we are doing that now. I don't know if you've noticed, there's a Greek director, and he's creating a film called Nenikisame. It's to do with the Battle of Marathon.
Yes. Huge.
And
nice.
he's going to, and the language is going to be in the ancient Greek language. It's not going to be in English.
And it's a Greek film.
Greek film, ancient Greek language, and the Persians will be speaking their ancient language. It's a bit like Apocalypto, the one that Mel Gibson did.
That's right. Yeah,
Or
that's right.
Passion of the
Or
Christ.
Passions of the
Or
Christ.
Aramaic. He used Aramaic.
Aramaic.
Yeah.
Correct. So there's going to be an equivalent of that with the Battle of Marathon, and the Greeks doing it. So
So that's going to be interesting because you're going to have both of those films out, I think, this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see, for example, how the Hollywood version of a Greek story is going to go versus what is effectively a Greek film, right? So
Right.
will Hollywood quash
Well,
it?
I think we saw that with the movie 300.
Yes.
Troy.
correct. Yeah.
Gerard Butler's Greek from Sparta.
Of course he is.
Mate, he did enough.
But-
he did enough to be Greek.
Hey, he was fantastic.
He was.
Some of that
As Leonidas.
issue,
Brilliant.
some of that issue has to do with just business. Business is great, but also like horrible for art, because throwing big name Hollywood stars into a movie like Odyssey is because they need to fill those theaters.
Right.
Now, a film with ancient Greek and ancient Persian, you know, let's not.
It's not going to do as well.
Let's not kid ourselves. Most people are dumb. People don't want to
Excuse
work
me?
to watch a movie. Yeah. People don't want to put the effort in to watch a movie. People want to sit back and just be entertained. Like,
Right,
you know,
right.
just and that's the problem. It's like when you're talking about big budgets and big movies, it's not about representing the authenticity. It's not about, you know, doing what's right. It's what's going to sell tickets. And that's
Oh,
what
absolutely.
a lot
Well,
of
it's how you
problems.
promote
Well,
it. It's how you promote it. If you
some
promote it
royalties
as
back to
something
Greece.
authentic. Sorry, go
Right.
on.
I was maybe there should be some royalties going back to Greece for sharing these stories through.
Intellectual property.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Well, look,
That was
look
a whole
at the end of the
discussion.
day, the whole thing is about if we're not the ones doing, I think it's more of a call to arms to the Greeks and to the, you know, to the Greek film industry, because we used to have a huge film industry in Greece. Think of all the stars that we used to have, you know, like your Vego,
Vegos,
your
Saltis, all
Kostadar,
those guys.
all those amazing people. And I mean, there's still a film industry there, but we had a film industry to rival Bollywood back in the day, right? If anything, this should be a case of, look, if we don't tell our stories the way that we want to tell them, you're leaving it to someone else to do for you, and you're not going to have a say in it. So, so again, whether it's film or whether it's, you know, books or whether it's podcasts, whatever it is, the only thing that I would say is, guys, do it because, you know, you do it to sort of elevate our culture, do it for us, and do it for our, you know, for our people as well.
How about Greeks who crossed over, like Yorgos Lanthimos? I mean, any thoughts on? I mean, that guy is out there. I mean, out there. But
Brilliant.
I think he's
Brilliant,
genius.
brilliant guy.
I think he's freaking brilliant.
He is.
Brilliant.
Because
Well,
when
look
you can't watch his movie and walk away saying, "Hey, that was okay, that was good." It's like you're like,
That's great.
what's going on with this guy? Like, what?
Yeah.
Where's this coming
Definitely.
from? And I love that. That's what film
Yep.
should do.
Yeah, look,
Absolutely.
we got the talent in our community. We got 100% the talent, and we got Greeks in big business. Like, you know, the who is it? Netflix. There's a Greek running Netflix.
That's
Yeah.
Sarandon.
My understanding.
Randall. Yeah.
JP
But
Morgan
Ned
is a
put on
Greek running it.
Maestro Blue, Nick.
Yeah,
So Maestro
Oh.
Blue is now Netflix. So
Brilliant.
here's a story about, it's on an island in Greece. The young daughter is having an affair with her married teacher who's older.
Sounds great.
The mother is having an affair with the doctor. The son's gay and the dad's a drug dealer, just like our parents.
yeah.
So you
They're
know,
next door.
but I did see one movie I thought was very impressive, was Stelios, about Stelios Kazantzakis.
Oh yeah,
Oh, great
That
movie.
film was fantastic.
that was always going to land, especially in the
That film was
diaspora.
Yeah.
And that guy, Chris, what's his name? The actor.
Mastoras.
Mastoras, yeah.
My wife's in love with him.
From
He's good.
Melisses. Yeah.
Melisses, the guy who's in the band, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're coming out
Yeah.
here apparently in
I
Sydney.
think they're going to Australia. They're coming
Yeah,
here.
they're doing a tour.
That guy
Yeah.
is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
That guy was so good in that movie. And
He's
you
from
know,
a good
you
part of
watch-
Greece, Ange, as well.
What's that?
He's from a good part of Greece as well, apparently.
Is he from Epido? Is that where he's from?
Look, if you're going to do
From
that,
your place.
if
He's
you're going to
from your
do that, Maestro was shot in Corfu too.
Ah, okay. We're starting
I was
it.
in Corfu, and no, because you see these things now, and we're there. I mean, even in Hollywood, the
Yeah.
president of HBO Films is Carrie Antholis. The chairman of Paramount, now that it's got bought, was Jim Giannopoulos. The chairman of Netflix, which is probably the biggest company in the world right now in entertainment, is Ted Sarandos.
Yeah.
So it's not we're very progressive. We're very involved in it. I think the stories are getting out now, like you guys were talking about,
Yeah.
and in a good way. And like when you go, like you said, the film like the Odyssey. Well, that's Adi makes a good point. When you're spending what $400-500 million, you're going to put in the Matt Damons and all the Brad
Of
Pitts.
course.
And mind you, what
Yeah.
Brad Pitt did, remember he did Troy, and I thought he was better looking than anybody in that film. I would have
Yeah.
done Brad Pitt.
I mean, yeah, I was just gonna say,
Exactly,
Angela,
yeah.
Well,
that's
we'll get it. We'll get into the list if you had to. Which guys? But we'll get into that later.
okay. We kind of had this discussion, Andrew. Remember?
Yeah, we were talking about
After a few
it
Ouzos, yeah, it always comes up.
was
We
come. I
had
don't know. Greek guys come. I said, look, we didn't invent homosexuality. We made it fashionable.
I'm just gonna say right now, my guy is
Greeks,
John.
we get it. That doesn't-
My guy is
We're not
John
categorizing
Stamos.
anybody here. We love everybody.
John
But you're-
Stamos for the win. That's
Yes.
what.
Stamos.
That's it.
I agree.
Hey, I met John a few times. The guy, he's a guy that gets better looking.
Yeah.
I know.
Bit
I
like the
met
red
John a
wine
few
you drink in
times.
there for
He's and super nice guy.
Yeah.
But there's another thing that's going on. Have you noticed these young, beautiful Greek singers
Yeah.
like Evangelia and Cleopatra and Josephine? And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of these young
Yeah.
women now.
A lot.
Really, Evangelia is very talented.
Mm.
And
Oh, yeah.
she's been in Australia and Cleopatra and Josephine and
Josephine was here.
Yeah.
another talent. There's a whole bunch of them now. And there's that one, Eleftheria, smoking hot. Like, Eleftherio, she's another one. Like, I mean, they're talented. It's not, there's something about sexy Greek singers, ladies. They're just, the women are just, we go nuts. And I mean,
That's going to
And they're-
save our culture.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's true though, right? I mean, and
Yeah.
I'm saying they're talented. They're
Right.
not just good looking. They can sing, they can dance, they can do all the stuff. And the
Yeah.
kids, a lot of the kids are relating to that. Look,
Well,
look at Argyros. Argyros just did Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
He's become an icon.
Now he's going to Chicago to do the United Center.
Well, that's
Yeah,
the
Well, he
thing.
did
1,000
three
people.
shows here in the Opera House, sold out.
3
Yeah.
shows.
You're like in a week, three
That's
shows
what
in
we
a week,
need.
sold
We
out.
need to make it cool. We need to make being Greek
Exactly.
cool because a younger
Well, that's my
generation
point. It is
responds-
cool now. The resurgence
you're right, Nick.
here is mind-boggling. If you look at the
It's coming back.
stats, Greece had more tourism than ever this year.
Yeah.
We spoke to the ambassador and so the consulate general. We've had more tourists in Greece this year. There's a hub. What's happening in Melbourne now? There's like a tourism,
tourism
bureau
office
because there's so
open
many
there.
Aussies going over to Greece. They've actually
Lots of
putting a
them.
tourism here.
Same in America.
Yep.
So
Greece is a
we're
good place to
definitely climbing. You know,
Well,
it's,
and
we're
then
not,
also part of our culture, gentlemen, we should mention is that the popularity of our cuisine, the surge
Oh,
of
yeah.
Greek restaurants,
100%.
products from
Wine.
Greece, obviously, right? Yogurt, olive
The
oil,
wines, yeah.
wines, all that's on the up, and it's hitting mainstream. So
Definitely.
the demographic that's actually consuming are non-Greeks, whereas before a lot of products were being imported specifically for Greek communities, those who were Greeks consuming Greek products. But now there's that surge too. That's part of our culture that should be mentioned.
What the good
Yeah.
point.
Absolutely.
And I have arguments with people. I go, well, Greek this, I go, fuck you. Greek oil the best. Greek wine's the best. Greek cheese.
100%.
Bring your
Yogurt.
shit. Bring it. Bring it. Bring
Well,
Godoni.
and-
Bring your
and-
shit. I
and
get
we
into it all the time.
And
Good on you.
you should also
Inspiring up.
mention
You tell
that
me.
people talk about health. Health is also a big topic, buzzword, where people spend lots of money to be healthy and they still can't get it together.
Yeah.
Where some of the attributes of being healthy are very simple. I think if you follow not the Mediterranean diet, but follow being a Greek and how a Greek lives based on whole foods, natural foods, sense of community, what we're doing here,
Yep.
even though we're not in person.
Café,
You know,
cigarro. Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
Bro,
it. Ouzo-fueled.
you know,
That's
but
it.
they live.
collectively, people live a lot longer life, a more fulfilling life, with the least amount of, issues, illnesses, and so forth. So that
Ouzo
should
goes
be
a long way.
Exactly. It's part of it. We've had this
It is.
discussion before.
100%.
They talk
Humans
about
need
how
that. They need that
Yeah,
interaction.
we do need to get your blood bought. We call it therapy here. When you go to Greece for a month, we call it therapy. The
That's right.
food, the Mediterranean,
Agreed,
everything,
yes.
the ouzo-fueled, the
That's
sun.
what people need.
I love it.
Well,
Not
my
doctors,
brother-in-law
just go to
comes,
Greece.
guys. Rigani, I had oregano from Greece.
Mm.
We made a salad. My wife takes the Greek from my dad's chorio. We put the rigani from the chorio.
Yeah.
All the Armenians and shit were going nuts. You know me, I'm standing there gloating. They go, "Where'd you get this oregano?" I go, "Greece." You're not going to find this shit at Ralph's supermarket in LA. I said, this stuff came from Greece. Oil from Greece.
Yes.
We
bring our own in.
oregano, all that stuff. I go, guys, I'm not being omnipotent. I'm not being arrogant. The reality is, put the Greek stuff in front of anything else, compare it, and tell me their shit's better than ours.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're the best in everything, but man, when it comes to
Yeah,
food,
we are.
Yeah, well, we'll say it.
We are.
We'll say it.
We are.
We'll say, yes, I agree.
That's the other thing. We are the most culturally chauvinistic people in Europe, apparently.
100%.
You remember that?
The pride
What's wrong with that?
huge.
Nothing. I'm good with it. I agree.
Greeks are good. My friends get mad at me. They go, "Oh, Greek this and Greek that." I go, "Really? When there's a Greek fest or the Greek restaurant, you're calling them up, 'Hey, Ange, are we going?' They all call me. I go, 'Oh, now you want to go? Why don't you go have
You're the
hamburgers
contact.
and hot dogs all the time?" Now I'm starting to sound like my pina pasta scata, hamburgers, hot dogs.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Shit,
man.
guys.
That's brilliant.
Guys, it's been an
Awesome.
hour. This has been fantastic.
It has.
I'm so happy you guys came on.
Can I make
I
a
don't think-
suggestion, Ange?
Yeah.
Can we do a series with these guys?
Mate,
Whatever
whatever
you
you
want.
These guys
No,
are
I'm
great.
serious.
I think
Because
we're
you guys are on
busy.
the other side of the world, and why not? You guys have you guys have your own collective experience of Greekness, and we have our collective experience of Greekness. And Angelo travels the world constantly and has his level of Greekness. Why don't we, like, once a month or once every quarter or whatever it is,
We're open
put
to
a
it, man.
series together?
I think
We
I've
love
talked to the
this.
guys.
This
I
is
think it's great.
fantastic.
I think
it'll
every
be
3 or
fun.
4 months we should get together and talk about what's going on. This is good because the conversation we had today, we talked about a lot of stuff.
Right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, I think it could go so much
people-
further if we have more time.
I agree.
Oh, and there's a lot
ongoing-
of stuff we've left out. So 100%,
Well, that's why
we're
we
in.
can do, we'll wait for the next time.
That would be awesome.
Fantastic.
Definitely, we're in.
Well, man, we're more than in. We're
think
just
it's
about to
great.
start our season 2, so well, season
I mean,
5 rather.
This would be
You
so
know.
cool because, there's different perspectives, but there's a very similar perspective, but a different perspective because of where we are. I mean, I think it will be great fun, and you guys are great fun to talk to. And like I said, I've never heard Angelo get so excited about an episode until you.
Thank you, guys.
It's
And you know,
you're
I'm
right.
going to Australia end of April. I'm going to see them. But the thing is, for me, though, we need to collectively do these things every now and then because synergy's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Synergy's good. And when you bring things together, other good things happen from it. And
True.
I truly believe that. And I think if people see, like, you're our first podcast of the year. So I said,
Wow.
this is the
We're
one.
very
I told
proud.
the boys, we're going to get the guys in Australia. We're going to do this to set the tone. Because like Forty said, he's right. Things are changing. Internet, everything's changing. So I think we adapt and change with it.
Yeah, man.
Keeping
We,
the integrity of what we do.
we should
Absolutely.
we should get together every so often, however it is, and just like kind of give that merging of our thoughts and ideas.
I'm down for it. The boys are down for it.
Right?
Let's find a sponsor and meet somewhere in the middle as well.
That would be
We'll get
cool,
them to
too.
fly us all to Greece.
That would be
We'll meet in
awesome.
We got to, we got to get.
should
and
do a
we got to
face-to-face.
get, guys. We got to get Aegean Airways because it's a really
Correct.
good airline, and women that work on Aegean are smoking
Oh
hot.
my God,
A lot of
Ange.
tenants.
Oh
They
my
really
God.
are.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm going to give a big shout out to Aegean Airways. If you're listening at Aegean Airways, the boys in Australia and America and Canada love Aegean. I heard a
We
rumor
do.
they may be starting flights to Australia and United States.
Code share,
Well,
I think.
they have a
Yeah.
well, so they've got a reseller now or something. You know,
Yeah.
they've got something in place here. So
I'm talking of a code share, I think.
yeah, I
Good
think
They need-
airline. It's
They
a
do.
good
Absolutely.
airline. Have you guys
best
flown it
regional
yet?
airline,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
14 years running.
They win all these awards in Europe.
It's a
They-
good. The food's good. The
Yep.
girls look really nice. It's the planes are great. I mean, I've flown them many times now. And I got to tell you, man, Aegean Airways, big shout out to
A321
Aegean
Neo.
Airways. They're great. They'd be
Aegean?
a great sponsor for this.
You should
If you're
tag them
listening
in
in
this
Gene,
episode.
we're happy to go to the States and we'll give a really good feedback of your airline and food and
There
flight
you go.
attendants.
There you
And
go.
flight
You know,
attendants.
On
That's the
that
pitch.
note, if any of the Greeks ahead of the streaming channels want to have a Greek podcast channel with all of us, like that would be cool too. So if any of the Sarandos or any of those guys are listening,
Well, take
We're open.
100%.
Yeah, take the Ouzo Talk, take Connecting Greeks. Look, Bill Bird, that they do all things comedy here in LA. They put about 7-8
True.
podcasts together. What happens? They watch one, they watch the other one.
Of
right?
course.
See, that's what happened. It's the synergy of it. So,
Exactly.
you guys are part of that network, and
Definitely.
that's why I
No-
got the idea to bring you guys on. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Glad
fun.
you did, Ange.
100%.
Great.
And like you said, no one listens to one podcast. Everyone has 5 or 6.
Yeah, yeah.
You
They
know?
listen to different ones.
They'll be listening to all of ours. And we listen to you guys and we listen to other Greek podcasts too. You know, it's normal. It's a
Yeah,
good
This
thing.
has been
It's a
fun,
good
guys.
thing.
Guys,
Well
this
done.
has been fun.
It
Really
has.
appreciate you guys coming on the new year. Thanks so much for coming today on the show. I mean, from my perspective, this was so much fun for me today. I really enjoyed the conversation. We're just talking, bullshitting, whatever. It was so much fun.
Right.
14 out of you.
Good on you, Edge.
It's great to
Bet.
see you guys.
Well
Love
done,
it.
boys.
Well,
Love your work,
I-
boys.
Same
we
here,
just
gentlemen.
want to say on behalf of Connecting Greeks, thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. We appreciate you. We appreciate what you do. Us as Greeks and a Greek podcast and all things Greek in our regular lives. We love it. We want to support everybody. We want everybody that's Greek and not Greek, Phil-Hellenes and Hellenes alike to listen in, learn, do whatever, support the Greeks. And we appreciate what you guys do. We appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much. Angelo, Foti, thank you guys. Everybody else
gentlemen.
watching and listening, thank you for watching and listening. And we will see everybody next time. And stay tuned for more Ouzo Talk, guys, because we're going to keep it rolling and kind of
Beautiful.
Thank you,
build this
boys.
Greek thing into a.
Watch Ouzo Talk. Watch Connecting Greeks.
That's it.
Bravo. Well done.
Καλή χρονιά, boys.
Yes,
Καλή χρονιά, guys.
everybody.
Άντε.
Yes, us.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Bye,
boys.
guys. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.